Should I remove these invasive ground covers from my system? Any volunteers to come and help? I've been getting asked a lot of questions about my ground covers, and the answer is a lot simpler than the internet claims. Now, I've been battling this plant for the past 10 years, and as you can see, it clearly won the battle. I tried to remove it, and it was extremely hard to remove, but I didn't notice how much of a powerhouse it was going to be until I started up my food forest. As you can see, the plant that we're going to be talking about is Wedelia. It is covering my entire lawn over here. And this part used to be a pond. If we could see over here, there is still standing water right there and a bunch of Wedelia on the empty lot right next door. Now, the empty lot didn't get the memo to remove theirs, so somebody should tell them to remove it, and then I'll be able to get rid of it on my property. But I was also told that it suppresses seeds and weeds, and clearly a lot of seeds are growing through it. And it also is supposed to snuff out natives. So here's a beautyberry, which is a native that was planted by the birds in the Wedelia, and it grew by itself. So the native did not get removed by the Wedelia, did not stuff it out, and it is still there. I also have a Simpson stopper right here. I'm waiting for it to take it over and remove this from my system because the internet says that it's supposed to take it out. And another native right here, necklace pod, right in the Wedelia. I'm scared that this is gonna die someday because it's gonna snuff it out. The natives can't thrive through the Wedelia at all. That's what I read on the internet, and plants can't grow through it. I planted a cacao seedling right in the middle of it, still doing great. A little burnt from the sun, but doing amazing. There's some cranberry hibiscus seedlings popping up in the Wedelia. Some more cranberry hibiscus right in the Wedelia. And something really cool over here is I planted this cacao in the middle of the Wedelia, doing fine. But also I noticed right behind it is a cacao seedling that I planted right in the soil. Now, if I didn't have this Wedelia right here, I can guarantee this cacao seedling would not have sprouted, and the moisture in the soil helped with this germination and got this cacao to sprout. Look how beautiful that is compared to the one I actually planted right here. So it can do fine by itself, and it's not going to snuff out any of your young seedlings. But what I did notice is it snuffs out the St. Augustine grass. This is all St. Augustine, and you could see that it's starting to remove it. The grass is the only thing that I'm removing from my system because that actually does a lot worse for you than the Wedelia. It has a very shallow root system, especially the St. Augustine grass. If you have that in your system, it's probably hurting you a lot more than a Wedelia would ever do. It does not help with soil compaction. You probably have to mow it more than any other parts of your property and spend a lot of time on it. Over here, the management of this system the entire year, probably about 0 hours, stress-free, no maintenance. Over here, I probably put about, I don't know, 20 hours of mowing so far this year. And that's the most amount of work that I do in my food forest is mowing these paths. That's probably the most annoying thing about it, is that these St. Augustine grass is the most maintenance that I have to do on my property. The Wedelia, I don't have to touch. It provides a lot of moisture in the soil. It puts roots in the soil, and it helps build up biomass. This entire area was full of tadpoles and water, standing water. Now I can actually stand on it, and it doesn't have any water retention properties. I'm literally standing in it where I used to be a puddle. So if I wanted to build up biomass, I'm getting invasive weeds and ground covers. I'm not planting grass. In fact, if you have St. Augustine grass in your system, that's probably doing worse than anything here. It snuffs out all of your young fruit trees. The St. Augustine grass builds up a thatch layer, and it becomes compacted. And then you're going to have to mow it every single day, or not, sorry, every single week, or hire somebody to come out and mow it for you. And then they're going to come out with their machines and compact that soil. I'm not walking in the system. I'm not compacting it. I'm not doing any maintenance or anything like that to basically make my system worse than it is. The more input that you're doing into it, the worse it is. And here's this beautiful clerodendron musical note that is popping up in the middle of it. I was told that nothing can grow in it. Here's a bunch of seedlings that are popping up, marigolds, planted right in the middle of it. So yeah, when I look on the internet, it says that it's going to be really bad and not necessarily something that you want on your property and you want to remove it. So there's reasons why they want you to remove it, is because it makes your system so much more simple than all of their alternatives. Their alternatives will be a lot of work and maintenance involved, and they know that. So if you wanted an easy, stress-free management where you don't have to do any input to it and nature does it for you, embrace the native ground covers and the weeds that pop up in your system. They're popping up on their own without you, and they're going to tell you exactly what the soil is doing underneath it, depending on what the weeds are that are popping up. Obviously, this is a moist, shady area with the Wedelia in it, and it's not going to thrive outside of that system. It's not crossing into this area. I have Biden's elbow over here, and these are going to be sending in deep roots into the ground. And St. Augustine won't even do any of that. Won't even be close to providing any of the soil buildup that these Biden's elbow can do. And I'll show you another example over here. This is the empty lot right here, full of the Wedelia. Can't get rid of it But if you look in here, it's not inside of the canopy layer. It's not doing anything to get into there. It's snuffed out from the shade, and it's only on the edge of the forest. So that's probably why you're seeing it a lot, is it's on the edge of forest, you see it, and if you start to look more into the system, you'll never see it going into the system. It has no chance of surviving. There's no way for it to get any sunlight or anything like that. Eventually it gets phased out of the system. There's leaf matter and stuff like that that's building up on its own and helping protect it from it. So over time, it will phase itself out. That's what these plants do. They grow really fast, and then they help the other plants grow next to it. And then once those plants grow up, it'll help shade out the next ones. That's the normal succession of how things go in a forest. So you just got to imitate it. Look at an empty lot that is growing and see what it starts off with. See what the next steps are. And it will eventually turn into a forest. Every single empty lot around me turns into a forest. Here's another example right here. The Sesbania is growing through the Wedelia. And this is the second part of the succession where it's starting to grow all these fast growing shrubs and seeds. The first layer was the Wedelia, where it was being a nice ground cover for those seeds and providing the moisture for it to sprout. It wasn't exposed soil, and it fixed itself on its own. That's how nature does it. I've been observing the empty lots and nature in order to resemble what it's doing instead of what humans are doing incorrectly, I guess. Or they're telling me to get rid of this because it is invasive and it's not going to help me, when it's helped build up the soil. It's helped put all of these seeds in the ground and help it to thrive. If I didn't have it in here, then I would know that it's going to need a lot of work to build up the soil. I just wanted to share a couple things with this ground cover and my experiences over the past 10 years of growing it. It has not spread. You can easily snuff it out. It is very easy to manage, but you're probably not going to get rid of it. Especially in a young system, I mean. But over time, once that canopy layer starts to build in, then you can start to see it remove itself. And again, I spend very little time managing this. And I think that's probably the reason why they don't want you to have it. They see that it's too easy for you. They always like to give you the most stressful solutions so that you're going out there and constantly failing so that you could keep on coming back and back for more. And I don't want to do that. I want to start off with a successful system and help produce over time. And this has helped me produce. I just wanted to share all of my thoughts and experiences with this ground cover over the past 10 years. It's helped build up my soil, helped with the ground cover and suppressing the grass that's growing through, the stuff that I don't want. And it hasn't removed any of my fruit trees from my system. Hasn't been a problem. And stuff is growing right up in the middle of it. I can plant right in the middle of it and it will grow. So those are my thoughts on it. If you wanted to remove it from your system, you could definitely do that, but there's absolutely no need to worry about it. It's going to be stress-free, zero work, and you're not going to have any problems with it. So thanks for watching. You have a great day.